Hey folks, hope you're having a great Thursday. It's kind of like a Friday for me. I'm off tomorrow for Good Friday, so today's my Friday, but not really. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, Thought I would talk about what are your barriers to your true self. And first of all, what is your true self? I think that your true self is the person God wants you to be. And the great part about it is it's not an end point, it's a journey. So you continuously become your true self. And your true self is the person God wants you to be. So what are barriers to your true self? Fear. Fear is one barrier. Lack of action. Not taking any type of action is certainly a barrier. Listening to what others say. Often we want to hear what others have to say, and we take seriously their opinions, whether it's family or friends or community or work. But those are barriers because what they have to say isn't necessarily what you should be doing and how you should be acting and the actions you should be taking. What are some other barriers? Procrastination. I think maybe we're all good at procrastinating. It's just not starting and taking action. Doing busy work, things that really aren't helping but are just busy work, and we think and we become proud of ourselves for being busy, but it's not really the type of work that's helping us become our true self. Telling ourselves we don't have the time, that's an excuse we will make, that I don't have the time to be my true self. I have too many other commitments that I have to do, and that gets into becoming your true self. Family obligations, that can get in the way. And I'm not saying don't help your family and don't do things, but sometimes, um, perhaps sometimes you do have to say no, and someone else is better suited for the action, or even that particular person. There's no reason why they can't take more action on their behalf. So these are some things that really are barriers that get in the way, of your true self. Fear, lack of action, listening to what others have to say, procrastination, keeping yourself busy with busy work, telling yourself I don't have the time, getting yourself tied up with other obligations by other people when maybe they're better off doing them themselves. So what are you to do? Really just start becoming your true self. Take daily action. You don't need to hit home runs, you just need to hit some singles. And as you keep moving forward, the path becomes more clear. Schedule time on your calendar to work on the things that are important to you. Set goals. I go to bed with affirmations. I have a list of affirmations that I keep in my iPad, and these are one sentence statements of things that are important to me in a lot of different areas: my health, hobbies, career, things I want to do with my website, Silence Teaches, things I want to do with my book, Sitting with God, A Journey to Your True Self Through Centering Prayer, things I want to do with my one-on-one coaching that I do, things that I want to do regarding speaking and getting out and talking about centering prayer and my book. I have affirmations around all that, around my health, around my family, around my finances. So I have all these types of one sentence statements, and what I do is I read them before I go to bed, and then I let them brew in my subconscious overnight. I also read them before I go into my centering prayer sits, and then let them go to God and let them brew with God. So I talked about, what are barriers to your true self, and I talked about that your true self is the person God wants you to become. I talked about, putting your true self affirmations, down in a notepad of some sorts and reading them before you go to bed and letting your subconscious, brew on them. I talked about putting your true self affirmations to God and then letting go and sitting with them during centering prayer and letting them brew with God while you open to the presence and actions of God within during centering prayer. But how do you tap into your true self? I think there's a number of ways. One way I do is centering prayer. Centering prayer, if you think about it, you're with your sacred word, you're letting go of any engagement of thoughts and opening to the presence and actions of God within. And you're removing your barriers to God. You're removing barriers to your true self, quite frankly. So each time you sit in the silence of centering prayer, each time you use your sacred word to let go of thoughts and emotions that really are barriers to God, barriers to your path to your true self. So that's how I connect with my true self. I connect with my true self through my centering prayer practice. And I do it twice a day and continuously connect to my true self. And there's other ways you can do it too. You can do it with journaling. And I kind of do it with journaling with my affirmations that I mentioned. And I kind of tag team my journaling of my affirmations and my centering prayer practice and bringing them into my centering prayer practice and bringing God into the process. Because God is really the one that's going to open me up to my true self during centering prayer. So the actions that I'm taking are God-inspired actions of my true self. And how do I know these affirmations are of my true self that I've written down? My barometer is, there's an excitement about them. So even though they might scare the heck out of me, there's an excitement about them that I want to do them. I'm hungry and I have a passion for them, even though I might be scared to do them. And they don't harm me or harm others. Then I continue to move forward on them, but I'm continuously bringing them to God and including them in my centering prayer, letting go of them as I enter my centering prayer practice and bringing them with me into my sit. And partnering with God, quite frankly. Centering prayer is, practice as well as a relationship with God. And I'm opening to the presence and actions of God within and letting my true self emerge from my centering prayer sits. So that's all. I just wanted to pop on and talk about what are barriers to your true self. Who is your true self? How do you connect to your true self? And one way I do that is through centering prayer. And there are other methods such as journaling, taking walks, taking a break, downtime, and I think even just making sure you get the sleep you need each night. And I can't say I get what I need every night, but as much as possible, I try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night because I'm not going to be of use to anyone if I don't get the sleep I need. That's all. Hope everybody has a great Friday. I was about to say weekend, but it's Thursday only, even though it feels like Friday to me since I'm off tomorrow. But I hope everybody has a great rest of Thursday wherever you are. Much love to all of you. Take care.